Tuesday, June 16th, 10 days after Forrest made his announcement that the chest was found, he released 3 photographs through Dale Neitzel's website. In mid-May, I made a video about the contents of the chest. This naturally involved a lot of speculation, and although we don't have all our questions answered, far from it, we do have 3 more pictures, which show that indeed the chest has been retrieved. In this video, I simply want to analyze these 3 photographs and juxtapose what I presented in my original video with what we learned from these pictures. Let's start with the first picture, the one taken outdoors. This looks like a photograph taken near the hiding spot, taken for proof. In fact, the caption reads, "Photo of the chest taken not long after it was discovered." Notice the light. We're in total shade, but you can see the reflection of the sky. This looks like mid-morning, about 9:30 or 10 a.m. The vertical shape of this photo is instantly recognizable as coming from a phone. I suppose it's possible that this was taken with some other camera, but it just seems so typical. Plus, I think I'm seeing the type of distortion in the image that's typical of small phone camera lenses. We also learn a little something about the way the chest was hidden. There was water in the chest, to be sure, thus the rusty key. But everything looks dry here. This might suggest that the chest was sitting on the ground. Here's a picture of the chest with the lid closed. Rain would have caused splashing around the chest, some of which entered. This would account for an accumulation of some moisture inside, even though at this particular time, when it was retrieved, everything looks dry in and around it. The presence of so much caked-on dirt tells us that the chest was on or near the ground. Dirt doesn't magically climb up inside the lip of a chest's lid. I think it gets splashed up inside there. And the closer you get to the front of the chest, the more dirt and debris has entered. This suggests, number 1, that the entire chest was not in a storage container or tightly wrapped up in a plastic bag or hidden away under a rock or in a cave. I think some kind of rock formation with a crevice near the bottom seems like a good candidate. The chest is tucked inside, somewhat hidden and protected, especially if you have trees and scrub and rocks here and there. The back of the chest is largely untouched by the elements, but rain splashes within a few inches of the front of the chest, causing debris to enter the chest little by little over time. And this also explains why the wood lining in the back of the chest looks pristine, while at the front we can detect rather severe warping and separation. The front of this chest was somewhat exposed, while the back of the chest was not. Let's talk about what's inside. The most prominent item in this picture is the chest's key. In January of 2016, Forrest gave a radio interview and mentioned this.
Okay, did you put a lock on it?
No.
Okay.
It has a lock on it, but the chest is not locked. But because I didn't want anybody to pry the thing open when they found it, the key is inside the chest.
Okay.
And here it is, though it was resting over on top of this 1903 Liberty head. The key may be useless now and simply break off in the lock if someone tries to use it. The mark on the coin is a reaction to the copper in the alloy on the surface of the coin and can be easily removed, by the way. The twig is strange. Forrest has said he collects many things, and some of them have no intrinsic value to another collector. Maybe that's what this is. Or it could be some kind of confirmation tool for Forrest and the finder. Not only would you probably not guess that such an item was in the chest, you'd be hard-pressed to duplicate it. It's much easier to obtain a gold coin than it is a small twig with all its unique features that looks anything like this one. Underneath the key, we have a small baggie that seems to contain gold dust. Its dark color and the fact that it is contained in this bag makes me think it all comes from the same location. Let's quickly work our way clockwise around the chest and make some observations. The bottommost item is another baggie, but this one contains a recognizable item. This is our dragon bracelet. If you're not familiar with this item, I would suggest you watch my other video where I go into great detail about it. And this brings up something important. In that video, I said that when Forrest talked about the chest containing rubies, sapphires, emeralds, and diamonds, I thought he was referring to the makeup of this bracelet. Those stones are in this piece of jewelry. In fact, in scrapbook 158, Forrest specifically says he removed the large gems. Forrest also said he removed the coins from their slabs, the plastic protective containers. This would have freed up a lot of space, and we see that here. We see lots of loose coins and gold nuggets. This large gold hoop is new. There might be two. There is no sign of corrosion, which probably indicates high gold content. And we can see one of the nose rings loose here as well. Next to it I'm seeing something I can't identify, but look here. It looks like fishing line going toward it. And underneath the gold dust baggie, there's more line. And in the back of the chest, too. This could be another confirmer. If Forrest tied a fly himself and included it in the chest, that could be a nice touch for personalizing the treasure, and also a confirmer since he never mentioned it. Unless this is some kind of tripwire, my guess is that it's fishing line. As we move clockwise up to the left-hand side of the chest, you'll notice this plastic edge sticking up. The inside of the chest measures about 8.5 to 9 inches on each side, and the protective sleeves for paper currency are longer than what we have here. You see lines on the edges, and this matches the openings of the other baggies, so I think that's what it is. But its placement underneath 20 pounds of material is odd, unless it's flat, like a document. Maybe that's what it is. I honestly have no idea. There are two items that really stand out up in this corner, and the first is this gold placer nugget, which I valued at somewhere between $25,000 and $80,000. Next to it, we have a small container in the back, about the size of a shotgun shell, and it appears to be full of dark gold specks. Below it, something is blurry, I assume because it's inside a baggie. We also have this one coin that is either encircled with silver or some other material, or might still be in a protective case. I lean toward the latter. In this uppermost corner, we can't make out much. We have a small baggie with a red sealer line either behind or inside another baggie, but we can't see what's inside. However, we have this large, white, triangular area and what appears to be a brown or golden lid on the left here. Considering the size, I think this is what we've all been wondering about. This is the 20,000-word autobiography. And if we zoom in, I believe that is our finder, or at least our photographer. Over to the right, we have the gold pre-Columbian mirrors, which are larger than I anticipated, about 4.5, 5 inches in diameter. Coming over to the right-hand side and near the front of the chest, we see the eye of the larger frog. And through this baggie here, we can see something slate gray with a dark line. I can't identify this. Moving on to the next photograph, we can see two of the items Forrest described previously. Obviously the row bracelet, but also the gold nugget necklace with the 700-year-old bead attached to it. I can't find anywhere that Forrest told us there were scissors inside the chest, but it looks like he wanted to help the finder cut into all the plastic baggies. The third and last photograph gives us a glimpse of some of the things we've only heard about but never seen. Here's the Sinu and Tyrona necklace, much more ornate than I thought. Based on the color, I'd say these are the Chinese jade face carvings, not masks. Forrest never said masks. We can see the row bracelet here, the dragon bracelet, the large gold frog. The smaller one was attached to a necklace and is likely inside one of the bags. We can see the larger gold nuggets. I think these are the Mayan gold beads on the far right. In this photograph, we can see every item mentioned in the memoir except for the 17th century Spanish ring. It's probably also in one of the baggies. We see that Forrest switched out the white custom holder for this black one here. And we can see 7 coins in it, but I'm thinking there are at least 3 more out of frame. As far as the coins, look at the double eagles. Going right to left, we have a stack of about 18, another stack of about 13, then a stack of 8. I see 8 more loose, 5 in front, 3 in back. That's 49. Just those largest coins, the double eagles, that adds up to about $100,000. Total coinage estimate from my other video was between $128,000 and $305,000. Based on having a little more information here, I'd say probably closer to 175, somewhere in the middle is where we land on coinage. It seems that with every question answered, 3 more crop up. From this last photo, people are wondering why the finder would seemingly hand everything back to Forrest, who, by the way, is like a kid in a candy shop here. You can tell he's enjoying himself. But maybe the finder discovered, with a little help from the document that was inside the chest, that the easiest way to get around both the tax questions and the ownership questions is to give it back, so to speak, and then let Forrest give it back to you. And when is that autobiography going to be open? And from this first photograph, I want to know if this is a tripwire hooked up to some kind of remote signaling device with a 10-year battery, or if it was just a woolly worm. But most importantly, I want to know the identity of this man, who, try as he might to keep from being seen in all the reflective surfaces, got caught in his own photo.